Hello friends, and welcome. I'm truly glad you're here today. For the next few minutes, I want you to forget about the outside world. Forget your notifications. Forget your unfinished work. Forget everything that's waiting for you. Just be here, because what we're about to talk about is something that almost every human being struggles with. Overthinking. It doesn't knock before entering your mind. It simply appears quietly. One thought becomes two become 10, and before you even realize it, your mind has built an entire story. A story about something that hasn't happened. Maybe it's a conversation you keep replaying, wondering if you said the wrong thing. Maybe it's a decision you still haven't made, choosing between endless possibilities while becoming more confused with every passing minute. Or perhaps it's the future, a future your mind keeps predicting, imagining everything that could go wrong. And the strange part is, none of it is happening. You're sitting safely, yet your heart beats faster. Your chest feels tight. Your shoulders carry invisible weight. Because the mind doesn't always know the difference between imagination and reality. That is why overthinking can feel so exhausting. It steals your attention. It steals your energy. It steals the only moment you truly have. The present. Most people believe they overthink because they care too much. Or because they're intelligent, or because they want to make the right decision. But that's only part of the story. The real reason goes much deeper. Thousands of years ago, your ancestors didn't worry about emails, or interviews, or social media. They worried about survival. A sudden sound behind a bush could mean a predator. A wrong decision could mean the end of life. The human brain learned to constantly search for danger, to predict problems before they happened. Because the people who noticed danger were more likely to survive. That ancient survival system still lives inside your brain. But the world has changed. Your brain hasn't. Today, there may be no tiger, no immediate danger, yet your mind continues to search for threats. Not outside, but inside. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if I make a mistake? What if everything goes wrong? Every question creates another. Every answer creates another doubt. And before long, you become trapped inside your own thinking. Here's the irony. The mind believes that more thinking will create more certainty. But overthinking rarely creates certainty. It creates confusion. Imagine standing at a crossroads. There are only two paths. The longer you stand there, imagining every possible outcome, the harder it becomes to take even one step. This is called analysis paralysis. You become so busy thinking about life that you stop living it. And while your thoughts continue racing, your body begins to listen. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your muscles become tense. Your heartbeat speeds up. Stress hormones begin to rise. The body responds as though the danger is happening right now. Even though the danger exists only inside a story created by the mind. But here's something most people never realize. The problem isn't that you have thoughts. Every human being has thoughts. The real problem begins when you believe every single one of them. Imagine you're sitting inside a movie theater. The screen is filled with different scenes. Some are beautiful, some are frightening, some make you smile, others make you uncomfortable. But no matter what appears on the screen, you never forget that you're sitting in the audience. Thoughts work the same way. They appear, they disappear. Some deserve your attention, most don't. Yet overthinking convinces you that every thought is important. That every possibility must be analyzed. That every uncertainty must be solved. But life doesn't work that way. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be questions without immediate answers. And strangely, that's completely normal. Think about the people you admire most. Do you believe they always knew the perfect decision? Of course not. They simply learned something that overthinkers often forget. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. Most people wait for complete certainty before taking the first step. But certainty rarely comes first. It usually arrives after you've already started moving. A child doesn't learn to walk by thinking about walking. The child learns by falling, standing again, taking another step, making another mistake. Little by little, confidence grows. The same principle applies to every part of life. You don't think your way into confidence. You act your way into confidence. And every small action sends a quiet message to your brain. I can handle this. Over time, that message becomes stronger than fear itself. This doesn't mean you'll never overthink again. You will. We all do. The difference is, you'll stop allowing those thoughts to control your next decision. You'll notice them, you'll acknowledge them, and then you'll keep moving. Because peace isn't the absence of thinking. Peace is the ability to think without becoming a prisoner of your own mind. And perhaps that is the greatest freedom a human being can experience. Not controlling every thought, but no longer being controlled by them. Because the truth is, your mind was never meant to be your master. It was meant to be your greatest tool. A tool that helps you create, learn, imagine, solve problems, and understand the world. But like any tool, it becomes dangerous when it begins using you instead. Think about how many beautiful moments have disappeared because your mind was somewhere else. A sunset you never truly saw. A conversation you never fully heard. A meal you never really tasted. Not because those moments weren't meaningful, but because your attention was trapped inside tomorrow. Life has always happened in this moment. Never in yesterday, never in tomorrow. Only here, only now. And yet, overthinking keeps making promises. Just solve one more problem. Think a little longer. Find one more answer. But the finish line keeps moving. Because the mind can always invent another question. That is why some of the happiest people are not the ones with the fewest problems. They are the ones who have stopped trying to mentally control everything they cannot control. They have learned an important difference. There is a difference between preparation and obsession, between reflection and rumination, between wisdom and worry. One helps you move forward. The other keeps you standing still. Every day you have a choice. You can spend your energy trying to predict a future that doesn't exist. Or you can invest that same energy into creating the future you actually want. One thought leads to fear. The other leads to action. And every meaningful life is built one small action at a time. Not one perfect action, one honest action, one courageous action, one imperfect action. Because movement creates momentum. And momentum creates confidence. Little by little, day after day, your mind begins to learn something new. I don't have to solve every uncertainty before I begin. I only need to take the next step. That single realization can quietly change the direction of an entire life. Because every meaningful change begins with one simple decision. The decision to stop believing that every thought deserves your attention. Not every fear is a warning. Not every doubt is wisdom. And not every thought is telling you the truth. The mind is a remarkable storyteller. It can create entire conversations that never happen, entire failures that never arrive, entire futures that never exist. Yet your body responds as though they're already real. That is why learning to pause is so powerful. Not because the pause changes the world, but because it changes your relationship with the world. The next time your mind begins to race, don't ask, "How do I stop thinking?" Ask, "What is this thought trying to make me believe?" Then ask one more question. Do I have clear evidence for this? Or am I simply imagining the worst possible outcome? That small moment of curiosity breaks the automatic cycle. Instead of reacting, you begin responding. And there is an enormous difference between the two. Reaction is driven by fear. Response is guided by awareness. Fear always whispers, "Hurry." Awareness quietly says, "Look carefully." Fear demands certainty. Awareness accepts that uncertainty is part of being alive. Perhaps that is one of the hardest lessons we ever learn. Life was never meant to be controlled. It was meant to be lived. There will always be questions without answers. People who misunderstand you. Plans that don't work. Days that don't go the way you expected. That isn't a sign that something is wrong. That is simply what it means to be human. When you stop fighting that reality, something unexpected begins to happen. Your mind becomes quieter, not because every problem has disappeared, but because you've stopped creating new problems inside your imagination. Little by little, your attention returns to this moment, to this breath, to this conversation, to this life. And when your attention returns, your life returns with it. Because the quality of your life will always depend on where your attention chooses to live. And the beautiful thing about attention is that it can always be brought back. No matter how many years you've spent overthinking, no matter how many opportunities you believe you've missed, no matter how many mistakes still live inside your memory, this moment is still yours. This breath is still yours. This choice is still yours. You don't have to become a different person. You don't have to silence your mind forever. You only have to remember that thoughts are visitors. Some arrive with wisdom. Some arrive with fear. Some stay for only a moment. Others keep knocking again and again. You don't have to invite every visitor into your home. You can simply watch them arrive, watch them leave, and keep living your life. Perhaps real freedom has never been about controlling the mind. Perhaps real freedom is trusting yourself even when the mind is uncertain. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it is moving forward despite it. And peace isn't the absence of thought, it is remaining present despite it. So the next time your mind tries to convince you to replay the past one more time, or predict the future one more time, pause, take one slow breath, look around, feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice the life that is happening right here, right now, because while your mind is busy searching for the perfect future, life has been quietly waiting for you in the present. And maybe the answer you've been chasing for so long was never hidden inside another thought. Maybe it has always been hidden inside this moment. Thank you for spending these moments with me. If this video helped you see your own mind a little more clearly, I hope you'll carry that awareness with you long after this video ends. Take care, be kind to yourself, and remember, your mind is a wonderful servant, but it was never meant to become your master.